People treat people the way they treat themselves. This is one of the most common sayings that we've always heard. But does this not challenge the self-centered people approach that we always followed in our lives? If somebody treats you with cruelty, they are also cruel to themselves. At the same time, we've seen increase in loneliness and depression. The statistics show that there is a raise in loneliness and depression. The more connected we are, the more isolated we feel. These are a couple of paradoxes that are doing the rounds in this particular age. I am Vani Kabir, the modern Sufi, and I did not give myself a paradox name. I was married at 19 and I got divorced at 28. At 19, I did a bhaag ke shaadi karne wala scene with somebody who was 15 years elder to me, and I didn't realize what am I going to step into. 8 years of a long, turbulent marriage and giving up everything that I possibly had in me. I walked out of that marriage after 8 years and a 5-year-old son. After all of this that happened in my life, I lost my self-confidence. I lost everything that I possibly thought that my parents had engraved in me, and I lost my name, of course. So I was talking to my mom. I recall this incident that I was talking to my mom and I was telling her that I don't want to keep a name which belongs to you, and neither can I keep a name which belongs to my ex. So what am I going to do? My son, who was then 5 years old, told me, "Aap mera naam use karo." And thus was born Vani Kabir, and I was resurrected again from the ashes that I was standing back then in. I think the story always, the more I tell this story, the more I feel emotional about it. So my topics in life have never been very brave. I am not a person who fights or stands up for a lot many things in life, or who would go and say that, this is my call for action, or this is what I exactly want to do in my life. All that I do with my simple words of writing is that I make you feel, and you feel understood about your own emotions that you're going through. Because something that I completely understand and resonate with is that if you do not diagnose what you are feeling, you're never going to heal. In 1957, my Nani was supposed to get married, and there was this guy who came, and unhone Nani ko dekha, Nani ne unko dekha, and so everybody said yes. The parents said yes and everything. My Nani is hard of hearing from 1 year. She went and she said to my Nani's father that, "Have you spoken to him about my medical condition?" And he said that, क्यों बात कर रहा है? इतना अच्छा लड़का है, गवर्नमेंट जॉब के अंदर है, खुश रखेगा तुमको, क्योंकि कान के बारे में बात मत करो, and you will be happy. She wasn't happy. Of course, she's my Nani, so she wasn't happy, and she went back and she wrote a whole letter explaining her condition, apologizing on behalf of her parents, sealed the letter, went to one of the friends who used to work in that person's office and delivered that letter. And she said that I will be completely okay with the fact if you call off the marriage. The letter came back after a few weeks in a beautiful envelope again. My Nana said, "My words are final. I would still love to marry you." And there was an earpiece, an ear machine that was there, back then in 1957 that you could get. And he sent this to her, and my Nani still uses it. How many of us are looking for a love like this? How many of us are wanting to be in a relationship like this? In today's day and age, where the paradox of modern relationships have changed from one bit to another, and the whole schematics have changed, where conversations have become chats, where missing someone has become an emoji, where dressing up for a person has become filtered. Where do you think we're all taking our relationships to? Statistics show that today's relationships that are born today are not even going to last a whole year. Which means our generation is going to see the most number of breakups that have ever happened in human history. How many of you are scared of it? How many who are in relationships and now wondering where it can be? So there was a time that I was feeling a lot of things. So I've been questioned a lot in my life for a very simple reason, because I was raised very boldly. So in my entire house, I'm the only girl, and I was raised with 13 other boys who are my mama, chacha, taya's sons. So I'm the only daughter in the entire family. So this bold since ever. People used to come up to me after divorce and tell me that you're not supposed to be in any other relationship because divorced women are supposed to live their life. You have a son, you take care of your son, and that's about it. As a rebel, I went on and I did some 100 relationships. So not exactly 100, but yes. I went on and I dated men and a lot of men. For a simple reason, because I was looking for validation. I was looking for somebody to come and tell me that I am still lovable. I will still be accepted even if I have gone through a particular thing in my life. And this thing has always, sort of pinched me and sort of, it's more curious that what type of love was better? All of us have been thinking this. The moment we step into a relationship or we see our grandmother and grandfather or nana or nani or somebody else who's lived in an older era, we think which type of a relationship was better. वो वाला टाइम जब लोग मंदिर में और पार्क में मिलते थे विज़ावी पब्स में अब मिलते हैं, या वो वाला टाइम जब रफी के गाने चलते थे और आज अरिजीत सिंह और हनी सिंह के चलते हैं, या वो वाला टाइम जब people used to say that this woman is a one-man woman. This man is a one-woman man. It still holds true today, but the only difference is that he is a one-man woman in one relationship. She is a one-woman girl in one relationship. So, which time is better? There's a poem that I've written, and that's so poetry has always been part of most of my talks that I've done till date, and I'm going to read it out because I clearly don't remember everything, so please bear with it. It says, I locked up the love in my heart and set my mind free. I locked up the love in my heart and set my mind free. I chose to be constant, and for that, I changed every symphony in me. I was called very sensitive and cold-hearted at the same time. I was called very sensitive and cold-hearted at the same time. All my relationships were passionate, but they were platonic in my mind. I heard a phrase once. That your comfort zone is going to kill you. Now, how is that true? Because comforts are habitual and habits are killing. And these paradoxes in my mind are always drilling. So when I wanted to move fast, I moved slow. So when I wanted to move fast, I moved slow. And when I wanted to hide from the world, I used to flow. When I didn't want love to come my way, it always did. When I didn't want love to come my way, it always did. And somehow I was always able to see the moon even in the day made. It took me sadness to understand happiness. It took me sadness to understand happiness and silence to understand conversation. It took me absence to know presence, and by always moving, I knew how to be stationed. The more you let go, the more you gain. The more you let go, the more you gain. These collections of paradoxes will always churn your brain. It makes complete sense to me to make no sense at all. It makes complete sense to me to make no sense at all. And what are these paradoxes anyway? They're just statements after all. Oh dear God, sometimes I want to be saved from Him and sometimes I want to be saved by Him. Okay, let me ask you this. Have you ever kept a promise not to keep a promise? Have you ever kept a promise that you will never keep this promise? I have. So the day that I was divorced, sadly or paradoxically or whichever is LE, I was divorced on the same day that I got married. It was 2nd of February 2005 that I got married, and it was 2nd of February 2013 that I got divorced. And as surprising that it is today, I feel that there was a whole cycle that was supposed to be complete. So the day that I got divorced, there's this Hindi poetry that I'm writing. There's a small piece from it, and it says, जब मैं चल के जा रही थी वो मुझे ही देख रहा था. जब मैं चल के जा रही थी वो मुझे ही देख रहा था, शायद उसे सच बोलना था. जब मैं चल के जा रही थी वो मुझे ही देख रहा था, शायद उसे सच बोलना था. पर मैं रुखसत हो गई कि उसने बहुत सितम ढाए हैं, कुछ पल अपनी जिंदगी के मैंने यूं बिताए हैं. So coming back to the question, so the day I got divorced, I was walking towards my car. I had the divorce decree in my hand, and I was super late for work. I threw the divorce decree back. I put on a cake song, short skirt and a long jacket. Everyone would have heard it, my favorite. I put that song on, and I built the due to a relationship which was once vowed to be kept forever. A relationship that I never wanted to end, a relationship that has gone beyond repair at that particular point of time, and I had to leave it the way that it is supposed to be. In our history, in our culture, there's never been a word called divorce, and Gupta would second it. There's never been a word called divorce. And still, that's the only choice that I had with myself to make. I lost one mother-in-law, I gained 5 mother-in-laws in my society. I lost one father, and I got 100 other men wanting to be father-like figures but not resonating with the fact of what a child would need. So being vulnerable gives you strength. Now isn't that a paradox? Vulnerable means you're weak, but vulnerable gives you strength. Love is the single most largest, biggest, I call it CERT, single universal relatable truth. It's the single most biggest paradox that we all have been living from the beginning of time. When you breathe in love, you gain courage. Whereas breathing means you're going to cry over something which is broken. But anything broken in love is going to give you courage. If anyone puts you through pain and hurt, you're going to gain power. Isn't that a paradox? It says the crazy ones in love are the best loves. Why? Because it keeps the relationship sane. Isn't it? The more crazy you are in love, the more better your relationship is. You lose everything to gain everything. There are people who invest everything of their life, money, energy, everything into one thing, and if you ask them, why are you doing this? They would say, it makes me more me. So you lose everything to become more individual. So in a nutshell, you're basically going against the odd to make everything even. Marriage is not the reason for divorce. Let me assure you that to all the young people who think that they are not marriageable or are marriageable or would never get marriage is not the reason of divorce. Social pressure, peer pressure, children pressure, family pressure, individuality, character, individual dreams, thoughts, all of these are the reason of divorce. Not because you get married to a person. We all are looking for people whom we can confide in. We all are looking for people who can understand our individuality and say that, okay, I'm going to allow you to be you. Right? We all are looking for that person. In short, we're looking for happiness. And we all know what to do to be happy. And we all know what to do to be in a happy relationship for ourselves and for our partner or for our work. But we are not doing everything that it needs to be happy because we are too busy, because we are too busy being happy. Welcome to the paradox of modern age.